Hello and welcome to German Lessons with Mr. Ferguson. Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum Deutschunterricht mit Herrn Ferguson. Die 6. Stunde, the 6th lesson, ist wie man die deutschen Mitlaute ausspricht, pronouncing German consonants. Before wir anfangen, please remember to like this video. Bitte klickt gefällt mir and to subscribe to my channel so that I can keep helping you with your German. Bitte vergesst nicht zu abonnieren. If you're enjoying my videos, please consider buying me a coffee by clicking the banner now. All contributions are gratefully received and allow me to continue to bring you new and exciting German content whilst keeping it free to access on YouTube. Thank you to those of you who have already contributed. It's very much appreciated. Vielen Dank. The German alphabet has the same 21 consonants as English, but with the additional letter of SZ, or scharfes S, which makes a S sound. There's more on this letter in Lesson 3. Most consonants in German sound the same as they do in English, but here are the differences. G. In German, the letter G almost always makes a G sound, like in gut, meaning good, or gelb, meaning yellow. In some words of French origin, you'll hear it pronounced as je, for example, orange. In some areas of the German-speaking world, you'll hear a G pronounced as a ch, when it's on the end of a word. For example, lustig, funny. If you see a G followed by a N, it won't become a N sound like in the English word gnome. Instead, both letters get pronounced as Gn. For example, gnädig, meaning gracious. H. The German letter H. This is the same as English, apart from when it's used after a vowel. If you see a H after a vowel, the sound is long. For example, ihr, meaning you all, or ihn, meaning him. J. This letter is almost always a y sound, like jung, meaning young, and ja, meaning yes. If it's at the start of an English word, it will be a j, like we're used to. For example, jeans. K. K is used as a k sound and often replaces the English letter C in some cognates, which are words which look or sound the same in two languages. For example, camera. The only exception I know of is ski, meaning ski, but is pronounced she. Similar to a g, a k followed by a n doesn't become n, like in the English word night, but it becomes kn, like the German word Knecht, meaning servant. Q and U. These letters come together like they do in English, but they sound like kv. For example, quiz. R. At the start or in the middle of a word, this letter sounds like the French r in most German accents, like Brot, meaning bread. But at the end of a word, it's a soft just like in English. For example, Vater, father. This letter is more like an English r in some southern German, Austrian and Swiss dialects, like Brot, meaning bread again. S. This letter, when starting or in the middle of a word, sounds like z. For example, sechs, meaning six, sieben, meaning seven, sehr, meaning very. If it's on the end of a word, it's a s, like Fotos. St. At the start of a word, this sounds like st. For example, Start und Stopp. At the end of the word, it's st, like ist. In some areas of southern Germany and Austria, all instances of st sound like st, so ist would be pronounced ischt. Sp. The same thing happens here, and the pronunciation is sp, such as in Sport or Spaß, meaning fun. It's important to remind you here that Spaß is a noun, and so can't be used to describe something. If you want to say something is fun, you say it makes fun. Es macht Spaß. Or, more simply, you can use the word lustig to mean both fun and funny. SCH. This combination happens a lot and sounds like sh. For example, Deutsch, meaning German, or Schule, meaning school. V. This sounds like a f. For example, vier, meaning four, or Vater, meaning father. V. This sounds like a v and is the reason why stereotypical German accents sound like "We won't let you walk away." Examples are Wasser and wie, meaning how. Z. This letter makes a sound like ts, like you're hitting a cymbal. Some examples are zwei, two, 10, 10, Zoo, zoo, and Zug, train. CH. This is a difficult sound and it can change depending on where in the word it is. At the start, it can be sh, for example, Chemie, meaning chemistry, or Chinesisch, meaning Chinese. In the middle, it is sh, like Hähnchen, meaning chicken, or k, like Kuchen, meaning cake. At the end, it can be sh, like Teppich, meaning carpet, or ch, like Buch, meaning book. This is the only letter combination that it's hard to guess. In words like this, listen to the pronunciation where possible. A good website for this is dict.cc. Type in the piece of vocabulary and, on the right-hand side, click the speaker icon. Kuchen. So, to recap. G sounds like G in most cases, but J in French-sounding words. G on the end of a word can be sh. J sounds like a Y unless it's in a foreign word like jeans. K is always a K sound apart from in she. Q and U sound like kv, like Quittung, meaning receipt. R sounds like R in French, like rot, meaning red, unless you're from southern Germany or you're Austrian or Swiss. S sounds like Z, unless it's at the end, when it sounds like S. ST at the start is st, and SP at the start is sp. SCH sounds like sh. V sounds like f. W sounds like v. Z sounds like t. And CH has lots of sounds, including h, sh, and h. It's a good idea to pause the video now to take any notes or just to take a breather. Habe ich etwas vergessen? Have I forgotten something? If you think I've missed a common combination of consonants or just a different pronunciation of consonants, please let me know by writing a comment below. Bitte schreibt einen Kommentar. Also, please remember to click subscribe to receive all of my German lesson videos, language learning tips and updates. You can also follow me on Instagram with the username Herr Ferguson and on Twitter under @Herr Ferguson. Otherwise, from me, it's Danke und auf Wiedersehen.